And welcome back to the Week 9 edition of the John Carroll Football Preview Show. And joining us now is another member of the Blue Streak secondary, had his first career interception, which he took to the house against Muskingum last week. It's my pleasure to introduce John Carroll safety Josh McLean. Josh, thanks for stopping in this week.
Thank you for having me.
And really, it's been a while for us, too, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the first college class I walked into here at John Carroll. We sat right next to each other. Was that Spanish 201?
Yeah, it was.
Boy,
Intermediate Spanish.
Yeah, times sure have changed, huh?
Yeah, honestly.
For sure. So we'll just dive right in. A little bit of your earlier days. You're from Cranberry Township, PA. You played for Seneca Valley in high school. It's, I believe, part of the Whippeal. A lot of those connections have really been made over the years here at John Carroll from the Whippeal in Pennsylvania. What ultimately made you choose JCU?
So I was actually getting recruited, and John Carroll was actually one of the first schools that came to talk to me. And the pitch that Coach Long gave was just perfect, and I just felt that sense of a belonging immediately once I came and visited. And I met all the former players who have recently graduated, and they just made me feel welcome right off the bat.
And I know the brotherhood, it's really been a common theme throughout this season talking to all of you guys. That brotherhood is established even before you become a Blue Streak.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
For sure. And now looking a little bit more on the field for you, you've started to take on an increased role this season. I know it's a little bit later in your career. You are a senior. You had 40 tackles combined in your first 3 seasons. But in 8 games this year, you already have 38. What's been working well for you in 2022?
As you know, the past 2 years I've actually played cornerback, and with that in mind, it's been more of a coverage-focused position. And now I've been moved back to my natural position at safety, and it's given me more the ability to enter the box, make those plays up front, while also having that ability to drop back in coverage, which personally I like because I like getting involved all around the field. So that's been a really big key in helping me make more tackles, make more plays in the field.
And that certainly is a change to note. You were playing corner last season, and now you have Kiefer Askew, graduate transfer, come in here. He really gets into that other starting corner spot. That allows you to move to safety, but there is that relationship with not only the safeties, but the corners, too. That's an entire secondary unit. I've had 2 of your fellow safeties on this show this season, J.M. Rowland and Michael Palmer. They've also taken on some larger roles than they had last season. And you've all been led by Coach Harris. It's his first year as the safeties coach. How has the chemistry been, not only in that safeties room, but in the entire secondary?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, as you mentioned, with Kiefer transferring in and JM, who's officially moved up to that starting spot, all the guys there, we've always had chemistry. And again, bringing Kiefer in, like we talked about with that brotherhood, it started right when he came in. And we just started making friends. We started doing things off the field together to build that chemistry. And as you can see through the season, it's just grown rapidly, and it's really helped us perform on the field because we can work as one unit together.
And it certainly has shown. John Carroll with 7 consecutive wins coming into this week. And just taking a look at that change, just circling back real quick, you're talking about that change from cornerback to safety. What would you say are some of the most notable differences that maybe you've had to adjust to changing positions?
So in terms of changing, I mean, like I was mentioning with the coverage aspect, obviously as a safety, I'm not in as much like in-your-face man-to-man coverage. So as a safety, I kind of get to open my eyes across the entire field and kind of see what's happening everywhere. While at cornerback, it's typically just more like, as you could see in college, NFL, high school, it's all just focus on your man. So that's one thing I really like about safety is it's more just sit back and just see everything unfold in front of you.
Yeah, so instead of maybe more of that one-on-one assignment, you're kind of the patrol guy.
Yeah.
In the back of the defense seeing what all is going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it.
And now taking a look at you individually, by the way, John Carroll safety Josh McLean is our guest on the Week 9 edition of the John Carroll Football Preview Show. You've had 2 touchdowns in your collegiate career, and they've both been pretty big ones, I would have to say. The spring of 2021, the season opener, you had a blocked field goal return for a touchdown against Baldwin Wallace, and then last week against Muskingum. It wasn't just your first career collegiate interception, but it was your first career pick 6, a 46-yard touchdown on that return. What went through your mind on that play?
So once I saw the ball in the air, you take your practice habits to the game. Obviously, you go attack the ball. And as I'm running across, it was just really special to see all the 10 other guys on the field being there for me. And I know in the interview with Michael Palmer, he plugged me, so I'll give him a plug as well. But in both touchdowns I had, he was on my back the entire way. So it was just really special to see how all the guys have your back. And it's almost like they're your little patrol group, and they just led me right to the end zone. So it was really cool to see.
And that's awesome to see. That defense leads to offense and everybody helping each other. So Michael Palmer, also a safety from Pennsylvania. What's your relationship been like with him all throughout your time at John Carroll?
So I actually roomed with him freshman year. So we became really close then. And ever since then, we've been close. On the field, off the field, we do a bunch of things as a whole group in terms of the team. So he's always been one of my guys.
And that's awesome. And look at you two helping each other on different touchdown plays this season. It's nice to see that relationship coming full circle. Now, focusing a little bit more on this week, you guys have won 7 consecutive games. You're taking on the second-ranked team in the nation, Mount Union. How has preparation been going this week?
I mean, it's been well. We work every single day to get better and better. And again, it's just like every other week. You never look at anything as extravagant. You treat it like any other football game.
And focusing on this game specifically, what will it take for the Blue Streaks to come away this week with a victory?
I'd say we just got to play our game. I mean, on all 3 phases of the ball, offense, defense, special teams, we've been playing the best football we've seen all season. So as long as we just stick to our game plan, be ourselves, and work as a unit, we should walk out with the win.
And we'll certainly have to see how things go in this one against Mount Union. So we've talked a lot of football so far in our interview here, Josh, and now we're going to kind of go a little bit off of the football field. So you are a senior here at John Carroll. You're pursuing a degree in finance. Do you have any potential plans in mind once your time at John Carroll is completed?
So yeah, actually right now I'm in the works of looking for a job. My plan is I want to become either a financial planner or a financial advisor, preferably back home in Pittsburgh. But like I said, right now I'm in the works of looking for a job, and I'm willing to keep my options open.
That's great to hear. And of course, enjoying those last few months as a student,
Yeah.
that transition from student to professional is on its way soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talked about potential career plans, but what do you ultimately enjoy doing when you're not on the football field?
I mean, like you said, these past few months, my main goal was just to be around all the guys, because like I said, time is precious in college. You can only do it for so long, and then you have to move on to the real world. So really just spending time with all the guys, taking in each moment, because life goes fast. So just enjoying every single second you have during this time. You spend it with your guys. You take time to relax and let your mind decompress.
Well said there, Josh. And that's something that your quarterback, Joe Collins, last week kind of talked about, just spending time with the boys and just making memories as your journeys go along throughout your time at John Carroll. So now we're going to transition into our final segment of the interview. I want to thank you once again, Josh, for taking the time to sit down with us this week. It's like a fast favorites type of segment. So just a couple favorites in different categories so Blue Streak Nation gets to know their safety a bit better. Are you ready?
Sounds good.
All right, cool. First up, your favorite food.
I'd have to go buffalo chicken.
So Buffalo more the New York side, but I know you're from Pennsylvania, but Very cool. How about your favorite show?
I would have to go Peaky Blinders.
I think that's what Joe said last week.
Yeah.
So there's a potential bonding topic right there. Favorite movie?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll have to go The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Favorite music artist?
That's another good question. I'll go NBA YoungBoy.
And so is that somebody you play kind of for pregame hype too, that kind of like anytime?
So that's exactly what I play him for. Right
There you
before
go.
games, I'll listen to him a little bit to get me hyped up a little bit.
And finally, your favorite all-time football player?
I feel like I have to go Big Ben as a Steelers player, so I'll have to go Big Ben.
So-
or Heinz Ward.
So Pittsburgh Steeler fan
Yeah.
from Pennsylvania?
I'm a diehard Steelers fan.
Well, I was going to say in terms of Ben Roethlisberger, you'll never guess who else said that.
Who's that?
That's Michael Palmer, who
Really?
we just had on a couple weeks ago. Again, that close relationship you two have had in the safeties room, and great minds think alike, I guess.
Yeah, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, that's just about all the time we have for this week. Do want to thank you once again for taking the time, and best of luck against Mount Union.
Yeah, Logan, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. That was John Carroll safety Josh McLean for our Week 9 interview, and coming up, a bit of a preview of today's matchup between your D3Football.com 22nd ranked John Carroll Blue Streaks and the D3Football.com 2nd ranked Mount Union Purple Raiders, right here on your home for the Blue Streaks, WJCU 88.7.